How is it going, guys? Welcome into Rover Sports again. Really tough week it's been. It's been a really tough football season. Being a New York Giants supporter fan, I do this channel. I know that the 49er fans look at the Jimmy Garoppolo videos, and I'm quite proud of that work. I enjoy being a part of the 49er empire as well, a part of the Niner empire. This is a damn tough week. Damn tough week with the Eagles winning a championship. As a Giants fan, you sometimes think that the Eagles fan base is so cruel and terrible that they were never going to win. You looked at that as a karma thing, that the gods, football gods, real gods, would never allow a city of Philadelphia and fans like that to win a championship. And in reality, not all of them are terrible, terrible people. Family members, friends of the show come on the show. I think that the Eagles are a loud fan base, in-your-face fan base. I don't think the Giants fans are actually the quietest or the most Midwestern or the perfect fan base. I actually think the Giants, I think the Giants are the best fan base. Being a Giants fan, I'm proud of the fan base. But at the same time, the Giants, when you go to a game there, it's not like going to a game in Cincinnati or maybe in Green Bay or Indianapolis, a Midwestern town where you receive no brushback for wearing a rival team's jersey in the stadium. Anyway, with the Eagles winning a championship, it was really hard. Eli Manning, if you're a Giants fan from this generation, Eli Manning is all you know. The championship's over Tom Brady. You thought that was an exclusive club of only your guy, the only quarterback to have beaten Tom Brady. And now a journeyman quarterback like Nick Foles has that type of game against Bill Belichick and against Matt Patricia. And now him and Eli are connected. And now the doubters of Eli's Hall of Fame candidacy will say that beating Tom wasn't exactly that impressive enough to get into the Hall of Fame, when in the regular seasons he would often throw interceptions and put up 7-9 and 8-8 seasons. But I would look at that and argue that Eli Manning beat an 18-0 football team, the best football team of all time. He did it with a game-winning drive against an amazing defense with Harrison playing at the peak of his career, Rodney Harrison, Richard Seymour, the type of defenders that the Patriots had, Asante Samuel, all those guys in their prime. And that team from top to bottom for the Giants to win that as a whole was incredibly impressive. And also in this modern NFL, this Patriots defense without Malcolm Butler, when you have a coach such as Doug Peterson allowing the quarterback to throw that often, yards and statistics in the modern NFL are going to be inflated, and Nick Foles wasn't touched. Doug called a beautiful game for him. Nick Foles is a guy that threw 27 touchdowns to 2 picks. He's a guy that is 6'5", big hands, big arm, and can make throws. The problem why Nick Foles is not respected is because other teams and other coaches try to conform Nick Foles into the same quarterback as the other NFL quarterbacks, which he is not. With his stature being so big, he is not able to move fluidly through dropbacks. In fact, I can't recall a time where Nick Foles lined up under center. It was like a college game. And with Nick Foles, he's like a turret in Halo, where a turret is where they're immobile, where they stand there, and they're able to fire bullets accurately, in the Halo sense, but they can't move. Once you're on a turret, you're literally stuck. You don't have any mobility. And that's why Nick Foles is not respected, because you look at Marcus Mariota, the escapability. You look at Jameis can even go under center and drop back. But Nick Foles literally cannot drop back. He processes defense at a slow level. He's gotten hurt. He does take sacks when the offensive line is not elite. And that is why Nick Foles is not a starting quarterback, because he can't scan from one side of the field to the other. If you put Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles in shorts and told them to throw the ball like a pro day, Nick Foles would wipe the mat with just about maybe 20 to 30 he would maybe beat 20 out of the 30 quarterbacks in a throwing competition. Heck, even Christian Hackenberg. I'm not going to say Christian Hackenberg could have played as well as Nick Foles, but Christian Hackenberg also has better arm strength and I believe can compete in a sort of Doug Peterson offense. I believe Doug Peterson could have made Hackenberg even very suitable and very decent. I just think that that's the quality of coach he is, the quality of the weapons that they have. And yes, Nick Foles was clutch. But Nick Foles, again, for a team that's going to spend money on him, is immobile and slow and will get hurt and cannot elevate a team. He has very good arm strength. I believe he's Flacco. I believe he could be a Joe Flacco, though. A guy who's capable of starting, a guy who can take downfield shots. But I'm just pointing out the reason why Nick Foles doesn't get any respect. I'm laying it out. You know, a lot of people are like, Nick Foles, why didn't he get respect? Or he should get respect. And the reason is because of his immobility, because he has mobility issues, because he has ability scanning defenses, or he has difficulties with scanning. And if you put him in a Dowell login system that's complex, play action bootlegs, he'd be screwed. If you put him with Adam Gase, whatever, screwed. Shanahan, too slow. That's why Garoppolo fits there. There's very few offenses that Nick would be successful in. And Doug, the greatest thing about Doug Peterson is not only his composure, but his ability to suit the offense to Nick Foles. So now talking about the kind of Eagles and the whole persona and the thing, is that it diminishes Eli's Hall of Fame, the exclusiveness of that club. It does diminish it quite a little bit. It does, having Nick Foles jumbled there. And the 3-13 season, having the Eagles win their first championship when you believe morally that karma would never allow that city to have a championship. And a couple days ago, I was certainly a fan that was pointing out the ridiculousness of some of the celebrations on Broad Street, but I do want to take time now to acknowledge that Giants fans, and even myself, if they ever won a third Super Bowl or a fifth one, third in my lifetime, fifth overall with Lawrence Taylor and the 86 Giants, Carson, Harry Carson and Banks and the guys that preceded my life, if they were to win a fifth championship in that organization, I would do some crazy shit as well. Maybe spray champagne and go out and run around outdoors. And a lot of Eagles fans just did that. So a lot of times you look at the few that do the most bombastic, crazy shit that is even, like the horse shit literally, and you paint an entire fan base, and when the emotions get caught up right after the game, it's tough to set in with the reality of the Eagles and your rival having a championship. As a Giants fan, you want them to never win. You always want to have that trump card of 0 championships. And you just feel morally as a Giants fan, as another fan, that your team is superior, that your fan base is superior. That's a natural emotion. And having the Eagles winning a championship doesn't really sit with those emotions. It doesn't confirm your view. But there's Eagles fans that are great people. It's definitely a bombastic fan base, and you have to be cut out to be an Eagles fan. You either be from the city, you buy into the underdog mentality. It's very outgoing, again, bombastic fan base that fits for a lot of individuals. And the Giants fans do, being, from a similar region, they do have some fans that are like that as well. There's also Eagles fans that are just as classy as the classiest Giants fans. So it's tough to paint an entire fan base, but I definitely think there's a lot of fans of Eagles fans, and they'll even admit, they'll let you know when they're winning and on top. And I'm going to think my fan base is always morally better, and it's kind of, I guess it's just a personal kind of preference. I'm sure Niner fans think Raiders fans are obnoxious, annoying, and classless, and so on and so forth throughout the rivalries. And as long as we could just talk about this sort of thing, and no violence is involved at tailgates or whatever, no punching people out, as long as we could just talk, make sure that the people, jovial bashing here and there, verbal bashing, Everything's all good. And this is going to inspire Giants fans. It really is. To go get number 5, to be up 5-1. Giants fans, now that the Eagles have won, you can look at the dominance of Bill Belichick as a blueprint. In New England, the dominance that he's had over the Jets as your blueprint. And the Giants, if they could be the new Patriots someday with an owner and a general manager taking advantage of this ship and this thing, then you could look at the relationship between Jets and Patriots fans. And the Jets are the little brother, or pushed aside or pushed down, while the Patriots have rised up over this last decade, since the 2000s, and they've completely owned and dominated the AFC East to a point where the Jets are almost lifeless. And that should be a motivating factor as a Giants fan. Even though Joe Namath won a championship in the 1960s, Jets fans look at themselves as depressed and hollow. And if you get the right coaches in there, you can build a dynasty where you can dominate your division and you can make your rivals feel pain of losing every year, and they can watch you play that game. Kapizel summed it up. That 3-13, your team's on a freaking, I could use terrible words here, your team is on a commercial as a 3-13 team, and the Eagles fans could just basically laugh. Even though the commercial is very funny, Eli and Odell are great people. The nation loves them as people, and I think that they're wonderful guys. Guys you'd want to hang out with. Eli, one of the classiest athletes ever. Odell, a fun guy. Very. You look at Odell Beckham, guy you'd want to hang out with. Again, I have a little bit of problems with the boat trip and things. This is why I took a pause there. I think Eli's kind of deserved, over his realm, the 2 championships and things, to be a little bit more silly. But hey, it is what it is. And having your team on a commercial, it's an insecure feeling. I'm sorry. It's an insecure feeling when the Eagles are playing in the game and you have Odell Beckham and Eli on this commercial. And it's just painful to see that. Your rival's actually in the midst of winning a championship, and you're defined on Super Bowl Sunday as making a pageantry of a dancing routine. So the dancing routine, I think, is funny. I laughed when I saw it. I was proud of Eli and Odell doing it. I really was. And like I said, I think those 2 guys represented themselves well in the commercial, represent our franchise well. We're going to gain some more people that don't know about Giants football. They certainly, the image of the Giants, in terms of females, kids, the whole culture of everybody watching is elevated by the humor of the commercial. And it was filmed before the season. But naturally, as a competitor, you are a little bit disappointed. And this season has just been hell. There's no other way to put it. 3-13. I sometimes ask myself, because I care about the game of football, what has God done to me personally to bring me this type of pain? New York Giants fan, New York Giant football. So I'm sure other Giants fans have asked that question too. So listen, we're here. Eagles fans, dear friends, family members that actually like the team. Again, do a show, in the town here. And congratulations on a championship, man. Those people know who they are, and I congratulated them and said, my points. It took a couple of days to get out, took a couple of days of not watching news, but come to that reality, and it's going to motivate Giants fans too to, again, take over the division and try to do what Bill Belichick did and try to dominate and continue to up the tally now so that you will put yourself out of reach of the Cowboys, Eagles, and Redskins. All right, guys, take care. Bye.